ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ॐ नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय. Today we are reading from Sri Caitanya Caritamrta, Adi Leela, Chapter 1, Text 62. Before we start, we'll sing Jai Radha Madhava. Jai Radha Madhava, Jaya Kunja Bihari. 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 Gopijana Vallabha Girivara Dhari. Gopijana Vallabha Girivara Dhari. Yashodanandana Jaya Rajajana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Jaya Rajajana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Jaya Rajajana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Jaya Brajajana Ranjana. Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari. 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 Jai Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari. Jai Radha Madhava Jaya Kunja Bihari. Gopijana Vallabha Jaya Girivardhari. Gopijana Vallabha Jaya Girivardhari. Yashodanandana Jaya Brajajana Ranjana. Yashodanandana Jaya Brajajana Ranjana. Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari. Yamuna Tiravanachari Jaya Kunja Bihari. जय राधा माधवा जय कुंज बिहारी जय राधा माधवा जय कुंज बिहारी हरे कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम राम हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे जय राधा गोविंद राधा गोविंद राधा गोविंद श्री राधे जय राधा गोविंद राधा गोविंद राधा गोविंद श्री राधे जय निताय सच्चिनंदन गौर हरि निताय सच्चिनंदन गौर हरि जय निताय सच्चिनंदन गौर हरि निताय सच्चिनंदन गौर हरि जय पंचतत्व जय पंचतत्व जय पंचतत्व जय पंचतत्व जय पंचतत्व जय पंचतत्व जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा जय प्रभुपदा हरि बोल हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल निताय गौर हरि बोल जय विष्णुपाद परमहंस प्रज्ञाचार्य अष्टोत्र चतुश्री श्रीमती डिवाइन ग्रेस शिला इसी भक्तिवेदांता स्वामी प्रभुपाद की जय अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की जय नामाचार्य शिला हरिदास ठाकुर की जय प्रेम से कहो श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्त वृंद की जय श्री श्री राधा कृष्ण गोप गोपीनाथ श्याम कुंड राधा कुंड गिरि गोवर्धन की जय वृंदावन धाम की जय मथुरा धाम की जय जगन्नाथपुरी धाम की जय तुलसी देवी की जय भक्ति देवी की जय सामवेद भक्त वृंद की जय All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to the assembled devotees. Hare Krishna. All glories to Sri Sri Guru and Sri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Om Shri Padaya Krishna. Om Shri Padaya Krishna Prishtavatare Srimate Bhaktivedanta Swami. Namaste Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharine. Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Sarvam Samapam. Sharpanastu. जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंद जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद जय द्वैत चंद्र जय गौर भक्त वृंद जय जय श्री चैतन्य जय नित्यानंद जय द्वैत चंद्र जय Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Today we are reading from Sri Caitanya Caritamrta, Adi Leela, Chapter 1, Text 62. Sadhavo hridayam mahyam, sadhunam hridayam tvaham, madanyat te na janati, naham tebhyo managapi. Sadhavo hridayam mahyam, sadhunam hridayam tvaham, madanyat te na janati, naham tebhyo managapi. Sadhavo hridayam mahyam, sadhunam hridayam tvaham, madanyat te na janati, naham tebhyo managapi. Word by word, Sadhava, the saints, Hridayam, heart, Mahyam, my, Sadhunam, of the saints, Hridayam, the heart, Tu, indeed, Aham, I, Mat, than me, Anyat, other, Te, they, Na, not, Janati, no, Na, nor, Aham, I, Tebhyah, then them, Manak, slightly, Api, even. Translation. Saints are my heart, and only I am their hearts. They do not know anyone but me, and therefore I do not recognize anyone besides them as mine. Purport by His Divine Grace Srila A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. This verse appears in Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 9, Chapter 4, Text 68, in connection with a misunderstanding between Durvasa Muni and Maharaj Ambarisha. As a result of this misunderstanding, Durvasa Muni tried to kill the king when the Sudarshana Chakra, the celebrated weapon of Godhead, appeared on the scene for the devoted king's protection. When the Sudarshana Chakra attacked Durvasa Muni, he fled in fear of the weapon and sought shelter from all the great demigods in heaven. Not one of them was able to protect him, and therefore Durvasa Muni prayed to Lord Vishnu for forgiveness. Lord Vishnu advised him, however, that if he wanted forgiveness, he had to get it from Maharaj Ambarisha, not from him. In this context, Lord Vishnu spoke this verse. The Lord, being full and free from problems, can wholeheartedly care for his devotees. His concern is how to elevate and protect all those who have taken shelter at his feet. The same responsibility is also entrusted to the spiritual master. The bona fide spiritual master's concern is how the devotees who have surrendered to him as a representative of the Lord may make progress in devotional service. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is always mindful of the devotees who fully engage in cultivating knowledge of him, having taken shelter at his lotus feet. Om Jnanatimirandhasya Jnananjanashalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Caitanya Manobhishtam Sthapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kada Mahyam Dadati Swapadantikam. Namashrestham Manamapi Shachiputram Matra Swarupam Rupam Tasyagrajam Murupurim Mathurim Goshthavati Radha Kundam Girivaram Maho Radhika Madhavasham Prapto Yasya Pratita Kripaya Shri Gurum Tam Natosmi. Vandeham Shri Gurum Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajeevam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha He Krishna Karuna Sindho Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindubhya eva cha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shrivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya Jai Nityananda Jai Advaita Chandra Jaya Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Sadhavo Hridayam Mahyam Sadhunam Hridayam Tvaham Madanya Tena Janati Naham Tebhyo Managapi Saints are my heart and only I am their hearts. They do not know anyone but me and therefore I do not recognize anyone besides them as mine. This is a very beautiful verse where Krishna himself is speaking to Durvasa Muni and confirming this wonderful and beautiful statement, which is Sadhavo Hridayam Mahyam Sadhunam Hridayam Tva Aham Madanya Tena Janati Naham Tebhyo Managapi. There is a very nice story behind this verse, as Srila Prabhupada mentions in the purport. The story goes like this. Ambarish Maharaj is a great devotee of Krishna. He is the emperor of the whole world, and even though he is the emperor, he is always concentrating his mind on the lotus feet of Krishna. So there is a very beautiful verse in Srimad Bhagavatam which says Vasudeve Bhagavati Tad Bhakteshu Cha Sadhushu Prapya Bhavam Param Vishwam Loshravat Smritam Manyate Loshravat Smritam. So this is said about Ambarish Maharaj. It is said that the intensity of Ambarish Maharaj's devotion was such that towards the Lord Vasudeva Bhagavati Tad Bhakteshu Cha Sadhushu, not only to the Supreme Personality of Godhead Vasudeva, Krishna, but also to his Bhakteshu and Sadhushu, to his devotees and to the saints in general. He was really devoted to everyone. Prapya So it says that in that verse, the continuation is Prapya, when Bhavam, Param Vishwam, Yenedam Loshravat Smritam. So Prapya Bhavam, Param Vishwam. So when that Bhavam, when that emotion is there towards Krishna, his devotees, and the saints in general, uh, Loshravat Smritam. So it is said that for him, the whole, even though he was the emperor of the whole universe, for him, everything was Jnana Vijnana Triptatma, Kutasto Vijatendriya, Yuktityuchyate Yogi, Samaloshta Ashma, Loshtra Ashma Kanchana. So Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita that when one is Jnana Vijnana Triptatma, so when one is Tripta, when one is satisfied within oneself. So jnana vijnana. How is one satisfied within oneself? When one has the knowledge and the science associated with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Maya satta manapartha yogam yunjam madashrayam asamshayam samagram mam yathajnasisi tachrudu. As Krishna says, that when the mind is attached to the Lord, so jnana vijnana triptatma kutasto vijatendriya. So when then the senses are automatically one when the mind is directed towards the Lord. Yuktityuchyate yogi samaloshtra ashma kanchana. So Krishna says that such a person who is fully satisfied within himself, atma ramascha munaya nigranthapi urukrame kurvanti ahetukim bhaktim itham bhuta guno hari. This is a very beautiful verse that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu has described in 64 different ways in Sri Chaitanya Charitamrta. So it says Atma Ramascha Munaya. So when one is satisfied within oneself, how is one satisfied within oneself? When one engages 100% in the devotional service of the Lord. So then Atma Ramascha Munaya Nigranthapi Urukrame. So Nigrantha. So there is Grantha. Bhidyate Hridaya Grantis, Chidyante Sarva Samshaya, Kshiyante Chasya Karmani, Drishyam Evatmanishware. So this is when the Lord is seen within the heart. So then Bhidyate Hridaya Granthi, the knot within the heart that is binding the living entity to this material world is taken off. That knot is taken off. So this was the state of Ambarish Maharaj, that even though he was the emperor of the universe, he was not attached to anything. The only thing he was attached was to the lotus feet of the Lord. So there is a continuation of that verse. Yenedam loshtavat smritam. The continuation is Savai mana Krishna padaravindayo. So it is said about Ambarish Maharaj that his mind was always thinking about the lotus feet of the Lord. Savai mana. His mind, Krishna Padaravindayo, was always thinking about Krishna's lotus feet. Vachamsi Vaikuntha Gunanu Varnane. Whatever he was speaking about Vaikuntha, the abode of the Lord. He was speaking about abode of the Lord, and he was extolling the greatness, Gunanu Varnane. He was extolling the greatness of the abode of Krishna. Savaimana Krishna Padaravindev Vachamsi Vaikunta Gunanu Varnani Karo Harer Mandira Marjanadishu. So his hands were engaged in cleaning the temple of the Lord. Mandira Marjanadishu. Shrutim Chakar Achyuta Satkathodaya. His voice was engaged in Shrutim Cha Akar Achyuta Kathodaya, Sat Kathodaya, in talking about Achyuta's glories. Achyuta is another name of Krishna, which means that he never falls down. So that is the difference between the Supreme Personality of Godhead and the living entities. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is Achyuta, so he never falls down. Whereas the living entities, because they are minute, they have the propensity of falling down. Then it continues. Savai mana Krishna Padaravindeyo Vachamsi Vaikunta Gunanu Varnane Karo Harer Mandira Marjanadishu Shrutim Cha Akar Achyuta Sat Kathodaya Mukunda Lingale Darshane Drishau. So it continues. His eyes were engaged in looking at Mukunda. So Mukunda is Krishna's name, one who gives the liberation. So Mukti Pradata Sarvesham Vishnu Revana Samshaya. So so Krishna Padaravinda Vachamsi Vaikunta Gunanvarnane Karau Harer Manchir Marjana Shrutim Chakara Achyuta Satkathodaya Mukunda Lingalaya Darshane Drishau Tad Bhritya Gatra Sparsha Anga Sangamam. So his skin was engaged in associating with the devotees of the Lord. Granam Chatat Pada Saroja Saurabhe. His nostrils were engaged in smelling the flowers that were offered to the lotus feet of the Lord. Srimad Tulasyam Rasanam Tadarpite. His tongue was engaged in eating the foodstuffs offered to the Lord with tulsi. Then in the third group of verses, it is said, Padaucha Harikshetra Padanu Sarpane. His legs were engaged in going to Harikshetra, the places of pilgrimage of Krishna. Shiro Krishikesha Padhabi Vandane. His head was engaged in bowing down to the lotus feet of the Lord. Kamam tu kamyaye, kamam tu dasye, nacha kama kamyaya. So all his senses and all his engagements were such that it was always engaged in the service of the Lord. Yatho uttama shloka janashraya rati. So in the end it says that uttama shloka gunanu varnam. So always everything starting from the mind. That is a very important point in these group of verses, the three sets of verses glorifying Ambarish Maharaj's devotional service to the Lord. And it starts with Savai Mana Krishna Padaravindayo, that his mind was engaged in the lotus feet of Krishna. Savai Mana Krishna Padaravindayo. So then Vachamsi Vaikunta Gunanuvarnane, then talking about the Lord. Shrutim Chakara Achyuta Satkathodaya. So all this, so we'll come back to that story then. So this is the great qualities of Ambarish Maharaj, and he had taken the Ekadashi Vrata in Vrindavana, and the next day was Dwadashi. So he wanted to break the Ekadashi Vrata, but at that time Durvasa Muni came, and generally it is known that Durvasa Muni is it is his role in the pastimes of the Lord. It is his role that he is shown as short-tempered, and by being short-tempered, he creates such a situation that it increases this transcendental state of the devotees, so and of the Lord himself. So in this story, he shows his short temper. How does he show his short temper? So he's coming on the day when Maharaj Ambarish has to break the fast of Ekadashi, and he comes and then he says that I will come back. I'll come back after doing the puja. So he has gone. Durvasa Muni has gone, and the time to break the fast on the Dwadashi is soon getting over. That auspicious time. Then generally whenever someone is coming, they are called atithi. So when some guests is coming, they are called atithi. Tithi means someone who has given the date and they are coming. But guests are such that they just come in. So just atithi without giving a date if someone is coming. So that is atithi. So in the Vedic tradition, it is said that atithi devo bhava, that any guest is coming, they are similar to the Lord himself. They have to give the same respect. The guest should be given that respect. So this is a Vedic tradition, and especially Durvasa Muni was a Brahmana as well. So being a Brahmana, it becomes even more important on the part of all the Varnas to show respect to the Brahmana, because Brahmana is giving the knowledge, the transcendental knowledge. Patan Patan Yajan Yajan Dana Patigraha. So this is what the Brahmana does. So he's reading the scriptures and he's talking about the scriptures. He's understanding how to conduct sacrifice, and then he's conducting the sacrifices for others. Yajan Yajan Dana Pratigraha. So he's taking charity and then he's giving that back in charity. So this is Brahmana. Brahmana is not keeping anything with themselves. That is Brahmana. Kripana is someone who always wants to keep everything with oneself and not give to anyone. So that is Kripana. So Brahmana. So that is a qualification of Brahmana. Satya Samadhamat Tiksha Arjavam Jnana Vijnana Mastikyam Brahma Karma Swabhavajam. Samadhamat Tiksha. So one who is controlling the senses, one who is forbearing, Arjavam, one who is simple, Jnana Vijnana Mastikyam, one who has knowledge, the scientific application of the knowledge, and renunciation. So this is the Brahmana, and Durvasa Muni had come there. So he went for the puja. The time for breaking the fast was going to get over, and then Ambarish Maharaj was thinking, what should I do now? So he consulted his Brahmana associates who always give him the advice. So this is another Vedic system of ruling where the emperor is taking advice from the Brahmanas, because Brahmanas are in that state of transcendental knowledge. Whatever advice they are giving is based on that transcendental basis. So the Brahmanas then say to Ambarish Maharaj that he can break the fast by drinking water. So by drinking water, what would happen is it is like breaking the fast, and it is also like not breaking the fast. So both of them not eating anything. So the basis of Atiti Devo Bhava is that first the guest has to be fed, and then the host will take whatever is remnants. So this is the kind of the Vedic system. So therefore, Ambarish Maharaj takes that advice of the Brahmanas and he drinks the water to break the fast because the Dwadashi time has gone. Then after that, Durvasa Muni arrives, and Durvasa Muni comes to know about this. Then Durvasa Muni gets angry. He says that how did you how did you have anything without first offering to the Brahmana Atithi, who is Durvasa Muni himself? And then he takes a hair from his head and he creates a demon because he has yogic powers. He creates a demon to kill Ambarish Maharaj. So this is what Durvasa Muni is doing there. And then that demon starts attacking Ambarish Maharaj, and at that time Sri Krishna leaves the Sudarshan Chakra to protect Ambarish Maharaj. And what does the Sudarshan Chakra do? Immediately the demon is vanquished. And then what is Sudarshan Chakra doing? It is going behind Durvasa Muni. And Durvasa Muni is running. The Sudarshan Chakra is going behind Durvasa Muni. Durvasa Muni is running everywhere. He goes to Brahma Loka. He asks Lord Brahma if he can somehow control the Sudarshan Chakra. Brahma says no. He goes to Lord Shiva. Lord Shiva is also not able to stop that. Then he's going everywhere. And then Lord Shiva says that you go back to Krishna and ask forgiveness from Krishna. So then he goes to Vaikuntha and Durvasa Muni is asking forgiveness from Krishna. And Krishna then says this verse, Sadhavo hridayam maham, sadhunam hridayam tvaham, madanya tena janati, naham tebhyo managapi. So Krishna is saying that the devotees are in my heart, and sadhavo hridayam maham. So in the heart of the devotees I am there. Sadhunam hridayam tvaham. And in my heart they are there. Madanya tena janati. They know nothing else other than me. Naham tebhyo managapi. And I also know nothing other than them. So this is the aham bhakta paradhino hi aswatvantra ivadvicha sadhubhir bhakta hridayer bhaktair bhakta janapriya. So this is another, it is the same, in the same set of verses, Krishna is talking to Durvasa Muni, and he gives so many, there are so many beautiful verses there where Krishna says how close he is to the devotees. And he even says that I am uh, aham bhakta paradhino. So he says that I am under the control of my devotees. This is the greatness of the Lord, that even though he is the Bhoktaram Yajnatatasam Sarvaloka Maheshwaram, so he is the Sarvaloka Maheshwaram, he is the proprietor of the whole universe. But he himself says that Aham Bhakta Paradhino. He himself concedes that I am under the control of my devotee. So this is the greatness of the Lord. He aswatantra ivadvija. I'm not swatantra. I'm not independent, he says. I am dependent. So sadhubir grasta hridayer bhaktair bhakta janapriya. And he even says that uh, he likes a devotee of the devotee. Bhaktair bhakta jana. Not only the devotee, but as much as it goes down the devotees. So as we discussed in the previous discussion about Kulashekara Alvar's beautiful verse in Mukunda Mala Stotra, where he says, Mad Janma Phalamidam Madhukaita Pare, Mad Prarthaniya Mad Anugrata Esha Eva, Tvad Bhritya Bhritya Bhrityasya, Bhritya Bhritya Bhrityasya, Paricharaka Bhritya Bhritya Bhrityasya, Itimam Smara Lokanatha. So he goes seven devotees down. He says that let me be the servant of 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 the servant. So it goes seven down. So that is the greatness of the path of devotional service. That uh, the service to the Lord and service to the devotees is of the utmost importance. There is nothing higher than that. Nothing higher than being the servant. That is the highest post. So in the material world, it is considered, uh, it is probably not considered a high position, but the material world is by essence, it is said that it is a reflection of the spiritual world. Urdhva moolam adashaka ashvatham mahuravyayam chandamsi yasya parnani yastam vedasa vedavid. So it is said by Krishna in Bhagavad Gita about how the material world is. It is a reflection of the spiritual world. So where the roots are at the top and the branches are at the bottom. So it is, we see that in a reflection. That's in a reflection in a pond or a river. When a tree is there, we see that the roots are at the top and the branches are at the bottom. So the material world is therefore a reflection of the spiritual world, and that reflection is temporary. Mamupetya punarjanmam dukhalayam ashashvatam. So it is not permanent. It is temporary. So here this is a very beautiful verse where Krishna is saying that aham bhakta paradhino. So sadhavo hridayam mahyam, sadhunam hridayam tvaham, madanya tena janati naham tebhyo managapi. So Lord Vishnu advised him, however, that if he wanted forgiveness, he had to get it from Maharaj Ambarish, not from him. So in this context, Lord Vishnu spoke this verse. Then, after saying all that to Durvasa, Durvasa then runs back to Ambarish Maharaj and begs forgiveness from Ambarish Maharaj. And Ambarish Maharaj immediately forgives Durvasa Muni. So this is the greatness of the devotees of the Lord, that they are always forgiving. So this is one of the great qualities of the devotees of the Lord, that they are, whatever be the condition, they are forgiving in nature. Titikshava karunika suhridam sarvadehinam ajata shatrava shanta sadhavo sadhubhushanam. This is said in Srimad Bhagavatam about what are the qualities of the devotees. So the first is titikshava, they are forbearing. So here we see that Ambarish Maharaj, even though Durvasa Muni had tried to kill him through the medium of that demon that he created, Ambarish Maharaj immediately forgave. There is a forbearance, karunika. They are very compassionate to everyone, regardless of what kind of living entity that is. The quality of the sadhu is that titikshava karunika, and then suhridam sarvadehina. They are the best friend of all the living entities. How are they best friend of all the living entities? Because they are ajata shatrava. That the next word that says that they don't have any enemies. So their enemy is never born, nor in the past, nor in the present, nor in the future. They have no enemies. This even though someone else might be inimical to a sadhu, but the sadhu is not. So that is a great quality of the sadhu. The ajata shatrava shanta, sadhavo sadhubhushana. So this is titikshava, karunika, suhridam sarvadehinam, ajata shatrava shanta. So there's five qualities are given: forbearance, full of compassion, titikshava, karunika, suhridam sarvadehinam. They are best friend of all the living entities. Ajata shatrava. There are no enemies for them. Even though others might sometimes be inimical to them, but they don't have any animosity to anyone. So ajata shatrava shanta. They are peaceful. So these are the qualities of the devotees, which is very wonderfully and very nicely shown by Ambarish Maharaj in this verse. Then we continue to the Lord being, next point in the purport, the Lord being full and free from problems can wholeheartedly care for his devotees. So this is a very important point that Srila Prabhupada is making in this verse. The Lord being full and free from problems can wholeheartedly care for his devotees. So this is the quality of the Lord. That he is, because natasya karanam karanam cha vidyate, natat samas chabhyatikas cha drishyate, parasya shaktir vividhaiva shruyate, swabhaviki jnana bala kriyacha. This is said in Vedas about the Supreme Personality of Godhead, that he does not have anything to do. He does not, natasya karanam, and he does not have any cause. So as Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anadir Adir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam, as is said in Brahma Samhita, that the Supreme Personality of Godhead is Krishna, Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha. His body is full of Sat, Chid and Anand, truth, eternality and bliss. Vigraha, Anadir Adir Govinda. He himself has no beginning, but he is the beginning of everything. Sarva Karana Karanam, and he is the cause of all causes. So here in the other Vedic statement it is saying, Natasya Karanam Karanam cha vidyate. So he does not have anything to do, and he does not have any cause. So, Krishna himself mentions in Bhagavad Gita as well that Namam Parthasti Kartavyam Trishu Lokeshu Kinchana Nana Vaptam Avaptavyam Varta Evacha Karmani. So Krishna mentions to Arjuna that Namam Parthasti Kartavyam Trishu Lokeshu Kinchana, that I don't have anything to do in the whole three worlds, in the whole universe. I don't have anything to do. Even though he doesn't have anything to do, still to give the example that work always needs to be done, Krishna shows that by his personal example. Yada yada hi dharmasya ग्लानिर्भवति भारत अभ्युत्थानम् अधर्मस्य तदात्मानं सृजाम्यहम् परित्राणाय साधूनां विनाशाय च दुष्कृतां धर्म संस्थापनार्थाय संभवामि युगे युगे. So even though he can control everything without his personal presence, just through his multifarious energies, still he comes down, still he incarnates. This is the greatness of the Lord. And we see here, Srila Prabhupada mentions the same responsibility is also entrusted to the spiritual master. The bona fide spiritual master's concern is how the devotees who have surrendered to him as a representative of the Lord may make progress in devotional service. This is a very nice point coming in the purport about spiritual master, just when on the eve of Balram Jayanti, which is tomorrow. And this is really nice that this Srila Prabhupada's purport is saying about spiritual master here, because Lord Balaram represents the Guru Tattva. He is representing all the gurus. And why is Lord Balaram the Guru Tattva? Because he is the first expansion coming from Krishna. So Sankarshana, Vasudeva Sankarshana, Pradyumna Aniruddha. So this is Chaturvya expansions. So Sankarshana, this is the so therefore it is a great coincidence, transcendental coincidence, that Srila Prabhupada is speaking about the spiritual master in this verse. The bona fide spiritual master's concern is how the devotees who have surrendered to him as a representative of the Lord may make progress in devotional service. And this is what we see in Lord Balaram's Leela as well, where he is Namaste Haladhara, Namaste Musalayudha, Namaste Revati Kanta, Namaste Bhakta Vatsala. So it is said about Balram, Lord Balram, that he is Haladhara. He takes a plow in his hand. Musalayudha, he takes the mace. His weapon is the mace. Namaste Revati Kanta, he is the giver of pleasure to Revati. And Namaste Bhakta Vatsala, he is the just like Krishna is Bhakta Vatsala. So Balramji is also a Bhakta Vatsala who is very dear to all the devotees. All the devotees are very dear to him as well. And then Namaste Balinam Shrestha. Namaste Balinam Shrestha, it is said about Balram, that he is in strength, there is no one greater than him. Namaste Dharani Dhara. So one who is holding the earth, all the planets. So this is said about Ananta Shesha, that all the whole universe is being held on his hoods. So Namaste Dharani Dhara, Pralambara Namaste Stu, Ehi Mam Krishna Purvaja. So we see that in the Pralambara. So the Pralamba Asura. So he is the enemy of Pralambasura, and Ehi Mam Krishna Purvaja. So you are the elder brother of Krishna Purvaja. Before you took birth before Krishna. This is said about Balram. So how do we understand Balramji's Guru Tattva? So the two leelas that he has, the main two leelas in terms of one is Dhenukasura Vadana, the killing of Dhenukasura, and the other is Pralambasura. So Krishna and Balram have killed the Dhenukasura, and Balram killed Pralambasura. So how do we see this? So about the Dhenukasura Leela, Dhenuka was the asura in the Talavan, where there were nice juicy fruits, and Dhenuka asura wanted to, and Dhenuka was the donkey, and this is Yasyatma Buddhi Kunape Tridhatuke Swadik Kalatradishu Bhaumya Jidi Yat Tirtha Buddhi Salilena Karechit Janeshu Abhigneshu Sa Eva Go Khara. So this Khara word is used in that verse. Khara is actually means donkey. So what is a how do we understand this Leela of Dhenukasura Vadana? One of the things that we learned is Dhenuka wanted to keep all the fruits and everything to himself. He did not want to share it with everyone else. So here Lord Balrama is coming, and because that Dhenuka is this Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. So Dhenuka and his friends, the as friends, are indicative of all those qualities. The Kama, Krodha, the Lobh, Moh, this attraction, this greed, Mada and Matsarya. So this jealousy, this envy. So they are representative of all those qualities that are hindering the living entity to render loving devotional service to Krishna. So what is Lord Balram doing? Lord Balram is taking out all those propensities, all those negative propensities out of the living entity, so that the living entity can engage in devotional service of the Lord. So this is what the Guru does as well. So when someone is surrendered to the Guru is helping the person to take out the false ego. False ego is the basis of all the other qualities that come up. When one thinks that I am this external body, immediately there is Kam, Krodh, Lobh, Moh, Mad, and Matsarya. Because all the comparison starts that I am at this stage in the material juncture and someone is higher than me. So then there is Matsarya. And then there is, so this creates this, so Paramo Nirmat Sarana. Therefore, this Srimad Bhagavatam, this Chaitanya Charitamrta Bhagavad Gita is Paramo Nirmat Sarana. Dharma Projita Kaitavatra Paramo Nirmat Sarana. Satam Vedyam Vastavam Matra Vastu. Srimad Bhagavatam Mahamuni Krite. Kimva Parayarishvara. Sadhyo Hridya Avirudyate Atra Kritibhi Shushrut Shubhi Tat Kshanat. So this is said about Srimad Bhagavatam, and it is applicable to Chaitanya Charitamrta as well directly. Sadhyo Hridya Avirudyate Shushrushubi Tat Kshanat. So when we are hearing about these transcendental messages of that the Sadhavo Hridayam Mahyam Sadhunam Hridayam Tvaham Madanya Tena Janati Naham Tebhyo Managapi, that Krishna is in the heart of all the devotees, and in the heart of the devotees Krishna is there, and the devotees know none other than Krishna, and Krishna knows none other than the devotees. When we are talking about all this, this is what is happening here is like how Balram is taking off the Dhenuka, killing the Dhenukasura. So this is what is happening when we are engaged. Shrinvatam Swakatha Krishna Punya Shravana Kirtana Hridi Antastrohi Abhadrani Vidunoti Suhrat Satam. So whatever, since time immemorial, whatever layers of covering we had, that is being cleansed when we are engaged in this discussion. So that is in the Dhenuka Vadana. That is what we are learning from Dhenuka Vadana, that Balram as the Guru Tattva is helping the living entity to take out all the negative qualities, so that Yesham Tvantagatam Papam Jananam Punya Karmanam Te Dvandva Moha Vinurmukta Bhajante Mam Dhradavrata. So Krishna mentions in Bhagavad Gita that one who has stopped the sinful activities, Yesham Tvantagatam Papam Jananam Punya Karmanam, and one who has started rendering pious activities, doing the pious activities, Te Dvandva Moha Vinirmukta. Such a person is absolved from the dualities of the material nature and the attachment to the material nature. Bhajante Mam Dhradavrata. Then the person is able to engage in the determined devotional service. Bhajante Mam Dhradavrata. So this is what Sri Balram is doing in terms of taking off the sinful negative tendencies, so that the natural positive, the natural eternal position of the living entity is automatically self-realized when those negative qualities are taken away. And this is the greatness of Balramji. And through the Dhenukasura Leela, we see that. And then Pralambasura, the other Asura was Pralamba, who actually took the form of one of the friend of Krishna. So this is what happens in the material world, that the mind is taking different forms. So mind is sometimes taking the form of a devotee, even though the mind is not a devotee. So there is like a Pralambasura. What is the story in the Pralambasura? This demon is taking form as the friend of Krishna, and the demon gets into the group of Krishna, and then Balramji is, and then they're playing this game. All the friends are playing this game that one friend is taking another friend on his shoulder. This is all the wonderful pastimes of the Lord. So the living entities are always eternally part and parcel of the Lord, and therefore the living entities can engage in these pastimes of the Lord once the self 100% devotional service is attained, that is the state. All the living entities would be Swarupa Siddhi. It is called. Every living entity has got a direct relationship with the Lord, which is a unique relationship. No other living entity has got that relationship with the Lord. And that the unlimited living entities that are in the universe have that unique relationship with the Lord, Swarupa Siddhi. So here, what do we see in this Leela of Balram, Pralambasura, where this Pralamba Asura is taking the form of the friend of Krishna, and then they are playing this game where one friend is taken by another friend on the shoulder, and they're going, and Pralamba sits on the shoulder of Balram. This is the arrangement of the Lord, that Pralamba actually sits on the shoulder of Balram, and then Balramji destroys Pralambasura. So here again, this is indicative of how a guru understands the mind of the disciple, and understands that sometimes the mind is tricking the living entity, and that understanding is helping the guru, who has already controlled the mind and the senses, to guide the disciple in the direction of that control. So this is what we understand from the Pralambasura Leela of Balramji. So the Supreme, so here Srila Prabhupada says that the bona fide spiritual master's concern is how the devotees who have surrendered to him as a representative of the Lord may make progress in devotional service. The Supreme Personality of Godhead is always mindful of the devotees who fully engage in cultivating knowledge of him, having taken shelter at his lotus feet. So that important, that wonderful verse where Krishna says, "Kaunteya pratijanihi name bhakta pranashyati." So, O Arjuna, you declare to the world on my behalf that my devotee shall never be vanquished. So this is what Krishna says to Arjuna, and he asks Arjuna to promise on his behalf, because Krishna, we see that, can sometimes break his own promise for the devotees. He breaks his own promise for the protection of devotees. But if a devotee has promised on his behalf, then he's never going to break that promise. This is the greatness of the Lord. And one of the beautiful verses, "Na paraham nirvadya samyujam swasadu krityam vibudhayushapiva yo ma bhajan de durjara geha shrinkale samvritya tadya pratiyatu sadhuna." This is beautiful, where Krishna tells to all the gopis that I can never repay you. This is his. So that's why this aham bhakta paradino, he aswatantra ivadvicha. So this is what, because Krishna becomes, when he sees that someone is rendering devotional service, he gives. So ye yatha mam prapadyante tam stataiva bhajamyaham mama vartamanu vartante manushya partha sarvasha. So everyone is coming to the Lord in different ways. Someone is coming in a way which is very crooked. Someone is coming in a straight way. But everyone has to reach the Lord. This is the so yasyaika nishvasita kalam athavalambya jivanti loma vilaja jagadandanatha vishnur mahan saiha yasya kala vishesho govindam adi purusham tamaham bhajami. So even we see that all the living entities are within the Lord. And when the Lord is exhaling, the whole universe is coming out. When the Lord is inhaling, everything is coming back to him. So either the living entities know or not know, they are with the Lord. When they know they are with the Lord, they are in a blissful situation. When they don't know they are with the Lord, there is this struggle, karshati. So there's mamayvamsho jiva loke jiva bhuta sanatana manashashtani indriyani prakriti sthani karshati. When there is identification with the mind and the five senses, then there is struggle in this material universe. Otherwise, there is no struggle. Otherwise, there is only bliss. Ramante yogina anante satyanande chidatmani iti Rama padenashu param brahma abhidhiyate. On the eve of Balram Jayanti, this is another beautiful verse where Rama, so Rama is Balarama as well. Initially, he was given the name Rama, and then Balarama was also given because he showed a lot of strength, not only physical strength but spiritual strength, because that is how he is directly associated with Krishna. Wherever Krishna is, like when Krishna was taking the Rama avatar, it was Lakshman. When Krishna is coming as Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, he is Nityananda. So Nityananda Prabhu. So Nitai Pada Kamale Koti Chandra Shishutale. So it is said that the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda or Lord Balram is like the coolness that one gets from millions of moons. So that is the lotus feet of Lord Nityananda and Lord Balram, who are the Guru Tattva. So they are, and this is what Srila Prabhupada mentions here. The bona fide spiritual master's concern is how the devotees who have surrendered to him as a representative of the Lord may make progress in devotional service. And this is what Lord Balram and Lord Nityananda and Lakshmanji are all showing in terms of how closely they are serving Krishna. In whatever birth Krishna is taking, they are serving Krishna in the respective form, like Lakshman, like Balram, like Lord Nityananda. And since they are eternally, and as Ananta Shesha is lying, Lord Vishnu is lying on Ananta Shesha. That's the close connection. And because they are closely connected, he's the best person to be the Guru Tattva, to be the starter of the Guru Tattva. And that is what we understand from this purport here by Srila Prabhupada. So in terms of the takeaway, I think the most important is this is a very beautiful verse, and it says, Sadhava Hrudayam Mahyam Sadhunam Hrudayam Tvaham Madanya Tena Janati Naham Tebhyo Managapi. That Krishna is always in the heart of all the devotees, and the devotees are always thinking of Krishna. Both are equal. The reciprocity of relationship is eternally there between the Lord and his devotees, and it can never be stopped, that reciprocity of relationship. So this is the conclusion that we can take from this verse. Thank you very much for allowing me to do this service. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama, Hare Hare. Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jai Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda, Jaya Jai Shri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda, Jaya Jaya Shri Chaitanya, Jaya Nityananda, Jaya Advaita Chandra, Jaya Gaur Bhakta Vrinda. If there is any comments or questions, we can take. Shri Caitanya Caritamrta ki Jai. Shri Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Maharaj ki Jai. Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. All glories to the simple devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the simple devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to the simple devotees, Hare Krishna. All glories to Shri Shri Guru and Shri Gauranga. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Om Shri Krishna Prasthavatileshan. Om Shri Krishna Prasthavatileshan Te Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschadya Desha Tarine. Sarvam Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. Hare Krishna.